And we are live on the
And it,
Stables Network.
it's Wednesday night, and that means John Guy saves the world in 30 minutes. I'm John Guy, and I'm joined by
Eli Racevich and Gracie the Wiener Dog.
and we're going to solve a global problem tonight in 30 minutes or less. And we would like for people to call in. They never do. They never do, Eli. What's up with that?
I think we intimidate them, John.
That's probably it. It's probably due to our cerebral musings here on the Stables Network. And our thanks to our producer, Brett, and also Mark Mancini for letting us, two old bastards, basically just, I don't know, ramble on, huh, Eli?
Ramble and get off my lawn.
That's we're very much like Clint Eastwood in that motion picture. What was the motion picture with the Laotians, Eli?
Gran Torino.
Gran Torino. That is what we feel like. Tonight we're going to be talking about daylight savings time and why it screwed me over Monday night and made me miss my own podcast, which is embarrassing to say the least.
I'm never going to let you live it down.
I figured that was going to be coming. But, you know, here's the thing, Eli. You live in Indiana, and in Indiana, they celebrate daylight savings time, but only, some counties?
Okay. When I moved here as young lad, Indiana was one of the smart states in the Union. Didn't have daylight savings time. We didn't change our clocks. That stayed year round. Then Governor Daniels, who did a fine job here, except for instituting daylight savings time and the god-awful sin of putting us on Eastern time, surrounded by Illinois, Kentucky, and Ohio, which all are on Central time, as we should be. Then we've got the river counties and the Chicago counties that are on Central time, but they do daylight savings times now, and they didn't before. So Indiana, our time zones are like we took a blender, threw the counties in, and here you go, guys. Do what you want.
You know, it was much simpler in West Virginia, if I'm not mistaken, Eli, where all the clocks are set to 1959.
All four of them.
All four of them. Daylight savings time actually was started by the Canadians. Another reason why we have 6 participants. How do we have 6 participants, Eli?
John, you're just a popular guy.
That can't possibly be, can it?
I don't know. Maybe they punched the wrong numbers then.
That could be. That could be. Wait a minute. Do we have Lynn on the phone?
Okay. I believe it's Lou.
Yes.
Not Lou from New Jersey, I hope.
It is, John.
Oh my God. Lou from New Jersey, our class mascot.
Lou, do you guys daylight savings time?
Yeah, we do. You know, it's funny you should mention, because I was just about to bring up something about that. Okay, once upon a time, back when I was young, I mean really young, we always set the clocks ahead back in the last week of April, not the second week of March. and we set the clocks back 6 months later in the last week of October. Then it was moved up to the first week of April for daylight savings time, and now it's the second weekend of March. If you ask me, I think it's a little bit too early. I mean, because first of all, it's not even officially spring, and we still have snow on the ground.
It's ridiculous. It's still dark
Thank you.
outside at 7:30 in the morning here.
And the whole concept of daylight savings time was to save energy. How are we saving energy? I'm assuming in New Jersey the lights are on.
Yes. The lights are on in New Jersey.
There are only 2 states that do not do this, Arizona being one of them, and Hawaii being the other one. We never change our times in Arizona, ever.
I wish we didn't.
And
I say it.
There's a reason. We have a lot of Native Americans out here, and the story goes that the Native Americans refuse this whole daylight savings time concept by saying only a white man would take 5 inches off a blanket, reattach it to the top of the blanket, and tell me that the blanket was shorter. And it's because of that Arizona and our Native American population, that's how I missed Monday, Lou. It was embarrassing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just sitting here waiting for 7:30 to roll around, or 7, or and by the time I was ready, it was over. The show was over.
Gracie and I had folded tent and gone to bed.
Did you at least have Peggy with you?
No, it was just me, Gracie, and Breck.
Oh,
say goodnight, Gracie.
That must have been a very serene show.
I felt sorry for Breck, so I was on my best behavior.
Oh
well.
Yeah. Lou, how are things going out there in Jersey?
Well, we haven't had much of a winter, so I mean, that's a plus at least.
That's good. That's good. How's that coronavirus doing out there?
Well, we've had a few cases. I mean, it's not like a few cases in New Jersey, New York. Nothing like in the Californias or other parts, but it's bad enough. I mean, we haven't closed any schools yet or whatnot, but it's really rough. And to make worse, my nephew is suffering with his kidneys right now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
With kidney stones?
Not kidney stones, but he's having trouble with his kidneys. He's had this problem for like about, where are we now? March, he's had this since about October.
He hasn't had to go on dialysis or anything.
He's going on dialysis.
Oh,
my. Sorry to hear that, Lou.
And he's only 16.
Oh, that's really tragic.
Yeah. And I thought my gallbladder was painful. Oh boy.
Well, I have a rabbi living in my driveway who had a kidney stone last night, actually.
Wow.
At the VA hospital in Tucson. He went down to the ER and they zapped him with a laser and broke it up. I've had those. I've had that before, and it is excruciating.
I'll bet.
It is not good. Well, we wish that's just, 16.
It's my sister's boy.
Wow.
He's also my godson.
Whereabouts does he live, Lou?
He lives only about 5 minutes from me. I'm in Roseland, New Jersey. He's in East Tampa, which is where we grew up.
Okay. Well, he should be calling in. I'm pretty sure, Lou, he should be calling in. We could put him on this show. He could do something useful now. He's 16. Yeah. He should have a job. I'm thinking
he does.
Traffic, what? What kind of job?
Yeah, he does have a job.
What's he do?
He delivers pizza.
Oh, Eli,
Yeah.
does that sound good?
You're not going to believe what I had for dinner tonight, John.
Oh, what?
Pizza.
Yeah.
You really? And yet, Lou's nephew had nothing to do with it, right?
No, that's a long delivery to Speedway.
Yeah, I suppose it would be.
It'd be cold by the time it got here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it being still winter, officially here in the U.S., we have a lot of drivers here in Arizona from Canada. You'll be driving down the street and you'll just happen to notice that the car in front of you has Saskatchewan license plates. I blame the Canadians for this daylight savings time travesty. It was first used in Canada back in 1908. And
You
so
know,
they have to take the blame on this, I'm afraid, guys.
that's great. I can understand Canada's need for it when you look at their latitudes and the axis of the Earth. I can understand it up there, but most of the continental U.S. we don't need it. It does absolutely nothing here. John, this is the great cornfield with lights. It's Indiana. It's still dark at 7:30 in the morning. Tell me how that helps a farmer. Tell me how that helps a farmer to work in darkness in the morning. I grew up on a farm.
I don't think it does.
Yeah, I already had an hour and a half, 2 hours work in by 7:30.
Wow. Well, the rabbi who lives in my driveway, he gets up every morning at 4 or 4:30.
I get up at 4:10.
Yeah,
Still.
and goes up to Phoenix every single day, and that's crazy.
And that's what they say here. In Indiana, that the proponents of it is, it's for the farmers. It's for I'm like, they're not in the field at 10 o'clock when the sun goes down in June, and in the field at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the spring. So their arguments null and void. Daylight savings time does nothing. Everyone needs to get a hold of their state legislature and get this changed. One of the problems is states can't change it. They have to have federal approval.
Well, and the crazy part is, although we do blame the Canadians, it was the British that actually invented it. Canada just used it first. The Brits, listen to this, Eli.
Now you're making me mad.
The Brits set their clocks ahead 20 minutes on each of the 4 Sundays in April, and then switched them back by the same amount on the first 4 Sundays in September.
Explains why they still have a monarchy then.
20 minutes at a time. I mean, all of a sudden, it's no longer 6:30 at night. It's 6:50.
Man, that would really screw your DVR up, John.
Yeah, network show. My wife's soap opera would just, well, I just wouldn't record anymore, I guess.
Yeah, I'd be snotty then.
Yeah. my wife's dad, who was just an incredible man. He was a pastor there in Indiana all his life. And he once had a church there, and the people would come to church at one time, but the clocks in the church would be another. As only you can do in Indiana, I just, what do we do to solve this problem? Because as we pointed out, obviously it's not saving people a whole bunch of money.
No, here in Indiana, like I said, we've got to get people to get their state legislature people. You got to contact them and push this issue. Uh, it does our state no good, and it's compounded by our idiocy of being on Eastern time. We're on the same time as Lou.
Yeah. Yes, you are.
And I can hit Chicago with a rock from where I live.
Well, sort of.
Well, I didn't say how many times I had to throw it, but
That's right. That's right. It's now used in over 70 countries worldwide. And it affects
so's meth, but that doesn't make it a good thing.
That's you just compared daylight savings time to meth.
As far as its usefulness,
What?
yes. They're both absolutely useless.
Oh, that's great. I don't think that saving the universe has ever quite had a parallel like that.
John, I say what I'm thinking, even if I'm not thinking.
Even so the Indianapolis Enforcers indoor football team, which open up this Sunday afternoon, a week from this Sunday afternoon at the Indiana Farmers Coliseum. The game time is 2:30, which I think is an odd game time anyway. What time would that be in Arizona if I wanted to pull up a YouTube feed of the game? What do you think?
Well, now I got to think about it since you guys don't change your clocks.
We do not.
Because it was 3 hours different. So what is it now? 2 hours difference? Or
I guess it would be 2 hours. We're on a different, well, no, we're on the same time zone now as California.
All right, what time is it there, John?
Right now it is 6:47.
All right, it's 9:47 here.
Oh, it's 3 hours.
3 hours.
See, you used to be able to fly to Las Vegas in a -4 minutes from Phoenix.
Wow.
Which I always thought was a little bit odd. You know, the plane would take off at, say, 1 in the afternoon, and you would get into Las Vegas at about 12:56 in the afternoon. Kind of like H.G. Wells' The Time Machine.
Yeah.
And
well, one of my favorite movies.
It was always so very confusing because we go to Vegas for the start of, say, the NFL season. And of course, all these games are being played in, say, New Jersey. And oh my God, to try to figure out what time a kickoff was in the NFL all over the United States, it broke my mind. So 2:30 Indy time would then be 11:30 in the morning out here?
Yes, sir.
Wow. That's damned early for a football game, isn't it? Maybe. I don't know. 11:30, but it would be 2:30 there and 2:30 in New Jersey. Huh. It would not be 3:30 anywhere, right?
Right.
Correct.
Okay. But it would be 1:30 in Minneapolis.
Or Chicago.
Or parts of Indiana.
Or Louisville.
Okay. I don't know how the rest of you got. I don't know how I survived it. It was so much simpler in West Virginia, where all four clocks just sort of remained the same, and none of the four were calibrated correctly. So you could be in Logan County, West Virginia, where it would be 2:10 in the afternoon, whereas say Mercer County, West Virginia, it would be 3:15, and then you get down into McDowell County, and well, McDowell County,
Yeah.
West Virginia. Uh, God only knows.
Ah,
I mean,
my
oh,
homestead, John.
I know, but you got to admit, both clocks in McDowell County were probably saying 10 in the morning.
Kind of like both of my girlfriend's teeth. They were close, but not
They
quite
were-
there.
Oh, West Virginia joke. That's good. I like that. Yeah.
I'm serious. I want all 8,000 million of our listeners to write their state legislature and tell them we want this stopped. We no longer want daylight savings time.
No.
Guys
You
like
think you can do that?
huh?
You think you can do that?
Well, Lou, we haven't been on daylight savings time all that long here. Our last governor
Right.
is the one who changed it, so it can be changed.
It can. It can.
Or at least go back to the way it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the second greatest sin ever thrown on the state of Indiana, right after eliminating the world's greatest high school basketball tournament by dividing it into four classes.
Oh. Oh, I still shudder about that.
And that was literally the world's greatest high school basketball tournament.
It was. And everyone in Indiana knows who the hell Bobby Plump is.
And when I would travel and go to high school games or relatives, they would always ask me about our basketball tournament. Other states knew about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it meant something.
Yeah. This whole class system makes a travesty out of it.
I understand it for football because you've got some single A schools that dress 20 kids.
Right.
Ben Davis has 20 tackles.
Yeah. In fact, the Class 1As in Arizona, they don't even play 11-man football.
Wow.
They play 8-man.
Well, my sons went to a Class A school, but it was an anomaly. It was Cardinal Ritter. They dressed over 100 kids, John.
Wow.
Can you imagine that in single A football?
That is crazy. Who'd they play?
About half, 4 or 5 of the games were against single A and double A schools, but they played some 3A and even a 4A school. So when they got to tournament time, they'd plow through these small rural schools. They'd never seen athletes like Ritter had. Boys got to state championship twice.
That's good. What time was it when they?
Well, it was at like 1:30 in the afternoon, John.
Okay.
Before daylight savings time. So it was really 1:30.
See, Lou.
Yes.
Do you wear a watch?
Right at the moment, no, but I have.
You have. Okay. Do most people in New Jersey wear watches?
Come to think that they do.
Okay. Eli, how about Indiana? Most people wear watches there?
Old guys mostly, and women obviously for jewelry, but I think watch is a dying thing. I wear a timepiece almost every day. Most people rely on the phone for a watch now.
Isn't that sad?
But I'll tell you, I one of the first things I look at when I get in people's cars for about a month after the time switch is I look at the clock in their car, and I bet 80% of them are wrong.
Um, yeah, that's probably pretty true. Probably pretty true. The NBA,
He's gone.
did you happen to,
Just
uh,
found out.
yeah, it just
Yeah, I
came
just saw the
across
blur.
my screen that games are being canceled. And the president just suspended all travel from Europe to the United States. So that I I I don't know how that ties in with clocks and time, but I
Well, we can move those clocks back, and they can have an extra hour to come up with a solution.
I like that.
Right.
That sounds
I like
good.
that.
You know,
So-
I don't care which one we leave it on. Just
Leave it.
leave it. I don't care.
Just leave it. Leave it alone. Don't touch it.
You know, and
Right.
and guys in my profession, we like my supervisors, John. They have to get up at 3:30 regular days. So when that time change, the night of the time change, they're getting up at 2:30 to go to work.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's horrible.
I've heard early bird catches the worm, but that's ridiculous.
It is.
Yes. Very much so. I do like, however, Eli, your comment on the coronavirus that is sweeping the world like nothing since the Beatles. And your comment was, what was it again?
God, John, I've had a stroke. I can't remember.
Okay. It was something to the effect of the only way you're going to get the coronavirus is, well, what was it? You were something about Corona beer.
Right.
You could only get it from a can of Corona beer, so
Yeah.
you felt pretty safe. Um, it's I don't know. We live in troubled times, and with all of the things that are going on in our world, be it the NBA canceling games, the coronavirus.
The season's gone.
I'm telling you, it's with all of these troubles, to screw around with your clock just adds to the stress and confusion, I think. I think Eli is right. We need to get hold of our state legislators, not here in Arizona, of course, because we're smarter than the other states except for Hawaii. And but I think the other 48 need to take the bull by the horns, so to speak, and stop messing with our times so that I can actually participate in my own podcasts. Lou, thanks so very much for joining us from New Jersey. It's been a
Thank
while.
you, John.
And
Yeah, I've been trying to find it. I keep losing the number. I keep because some days you're I heard Mondays or Sunday or Wednesdays, so I've been trying to track you down, but it's been a hard time trying to find you.
oh, well, and that would explain the fact that I look at the number of shares of our podcast, and it's usually in the single digits. So
I see.
that would explain it all. Anyway, thanks
I'll
for
be back.
joining us. Yes.
Make
thank
sure you call us
Good night.
on Monday, Lou.
That's right.
What
And-
time?
Your and my time, Lou, is 9 to 10.
Oh,
That's-
that's
well,
right,
that-
on Mondays. Yes.
9 to 10 Eastern, right?
Yes, sir. We're gonna leave
Yes,
John
sir.
All
out
right.
of the time.
I'll do that. All right.
Okay. And hey, say hi to your nephew. Wish him the best from us. Seriously.
Absolutely.
And feel free to have him call in. He could do the traffic report every single Monday night from whatever small town in New Jersey he calls home. It's just, something else to add to our repertoire, Eli.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Until Monday night, I'm John Guy.
And I'm Eli Racevich with Gracie the Wiener Dog.
And we thank you for tuning in as we solve the world's problem in 30 minutes. Damn it, leave your clocks alone. Good night, everyone.
See you, John. See you, Brick.
Good night.